Hi, thank you for choosing for Marte English Academy. We're going to start today with our Unit 28 for the B1 level. So let's start first of all with our vocabulary for today. So let's start. We have 17 words today regarding the vocabulary. So take out your pencil and paper and start writing, please, your vocabulary number 28. Well, the word that we have for today is autograph. Autograph. What is an autograph? Well, for example, when you ask a famous from a famous person for him to give you an autograph, right? In this case, it's a famous person's name written by that person, right? Did you get this autograph? That's an example. Okay, let's go with number two. Number two, bodyguard. Bodyguard. Well, someone whose job is to protect someone, right? For example, the prince is always accompanied by his bodyguard, right? Mostly famous people, right? They have some bodyguards with them. Also politicians, we can see sometimes that they have some bodyguards. Now, let's go with number three. And number three is chef. Chef. Well, that's someone who cooks food in a restaurant. He is one of the top chefs in Britain, for example. Number four, designer. Designer. Okay, what is a designer? Someone who draws and plans how something will be made. Designer. Stage. Stage. Well, we have the raised area in a theater where actors perform. Stage. For example, the project is in its final stage and should be completed by August. Okay, so it's the raised area in the theater where actors perform. Let's go with number six. Famous. 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 Well, it's known by many people. A famous actress or building, for example. Then we have next one, in public. In public, in a place where anyone can go, right? In public. Number eight, fan mail. Fan mail. That's letters that famous people receive from people who admire them, right? For example, he was the first actor in such a role to get fan mails from teenage girls. Personal trainer. Personal trainer. Someone whose job is to help people get or stay fit. For example, Sandy works out with her personal trainer every week. Number 10, personal assistant. Personal assistant. That's someone whose job is to help a busy or rich person to organize their life. She worked for 3 years as a personal assistant to the managing director. Number 11, rich. Rich. What is rich? Well, he's having a lot of money. For example, he's the third richest man in the country. We can put that as the superlative. Sorry, let's go with number. Okay, I guess yeah, we did that one already. Yeah. Okay, I think we have something that is repeated for some reason, but let's go then here. Star, well, talking about famous people, right? We say that person is a star. For example, a famous singer, actor, sport person, etc. But it has to be famous, right? Star. Next one, personal stylist. Personal stylist. Well, that's someone whose job is to help a rich or famous person to choose clothes, hairstyles, etc. Number 16, we have up to date. Up to date, modern, and using the most recent technology of knowledge. Up to date. And the next one, cooked. Cook. Let me see, I'm sorry. Well, in this one, most of the times we listen it very quickly. Update, Like normally they don't say up to date. They will say very quickly. I forgot to tell you that. I'm sorry. It will be updated, right? Or update. So you can see, yeah, this cell phone is updated, right? So in this case, that will be the pronunciation. Now let's go back here. Cooked, right? Cooked, something that is not raw, cooked. And that will be the vocabulary for today. Let's go very quick to see the second conditional. And in this case, the second conditional, we use if or unless plus the past tense. And then the result we will be using would. And normally we use this for maybe nearly impossible or impossible things. For example, let's go here very quick and show you something. Let's go here. So for example, if I say, so in the first part of if, I will be using the past simple. I can say, if I won, let's put it maybe bigger so that you can see it better. Okay, so if you say, if I won the lottery, comma, I would buy a house, right? Normally, in this case, oh, it's with, I forgot, I put it wrong. Okay, so in that case, if I won the lottery, I will buy a house. So it's practically something impossible, right? Because, well, we know that it's a little bit difficult, right, to win the lottery. But it's just if you are dreaming about things, right? So if I won the lottery, I will buy a house. In this case, we can turn that around. If we turn it around, then we don't need a comma. For example, if I say, I would buy a house if I won the lottery. So in this case, I don't need a comma if I turn it around. But if the if clause is first, then I need to use a comma. Okay, it's very, very important for us to know that. Now, this is for, again, for normally for impossible or nearly impossible things, right? So you can say another example. Well, if I had a new car, I would go to the beach, right, or something like that. So it's just things that are practically impossible. And when you're allowed here to dream about things. Well, if I had this, if I went to Europe, I would, right? So in that case, that's for dreaming about things, right? So that's the way that we use the second conditional. So now that we have that clear enough, we can go to, let me see here. Let's go then to our unit very quick, unit 29. So you can also turn with me on unit 29. And sorry, not 29, 28, I'm sorry. 28. So we can go here where it says, what will you do? So let's start practicing a little bit of speaking. So it says, do you recognize any of the people in the photograph? Why are they famous? So remember that you can send me that on the WhatsApp and to practice some speaking. And of course, I can give you some feedback about it. So let's start here. It says again, do you recognize some of these people in the photographs? Why are they famous? So talk about them over here. Okay. Now, it says match the adults to the photographs of them when they were children. Use the words in the box to help you. I think that's, you can say, well, I think that, for example, I think that children number 4 is E, right? And so on. So you can go just to match, or you can say, I agree that, used to, right? Or still has. So try to use some of these expressions in the speaking part. Then it says, compare your answers with other students. Well, we can do that in our live class. Then choose one of the children and imagine that he or she was thinking. So for example, you say, if I grow up, I will be, right? So that's practicing the condition that we saw last a couple of weeks ago. Now, reading is very important. So please do this reading part where it says, read this web page about jobs you can have working with celebrities. Match paragraphs A and F with the jobs. If you don't know what all the jobs are, try to guess while you're reading. Don't worry about any words you don't understand. So let's match, for example, paragraph A. Then let me see here. Yes. So you said, well, it says here, do you fancy? That's like if you dream, fancy or dream can be the same thing. So do you fancy being a star? But no, you never will be. Then working for a star could be the job for you, with plenty of cash and no journalists looking through the rubbish bins. It could be perfect. Here are just some of the jobs you could choose. So personal trainer, fashion designer, bodyguard, celebrity. So what you need to do is you need to read this paragraph. Read paragraph A. And depending on what that paragraph says, you need to write over here, is this job for a personal trainer, or is this job for a fashion designer, or for a bodyguard, for a chef, stylist, personal assistant, etc. So you can go the same thing with every single paragraph. And then we're going to be working on these questions. As read the web page again and think about the answers to these questions. Underline any words you don't know and talk about them in your group. So what is meant by to get their hands dirty? What does I am responsible for mean in job A, right? This one. So it's just for you to answer these questions related to each paragraph. Please, if you don't understand something, if it's confusing for you, let me know. And remember that we will be answering you as soon as we can. Now, we're going to be practicing the second conditional, the one that we just saw today. So I think it's very, very important for us to be able to practice it on this page. So here on page 182. So let's practice that, the second conditional, and in every single part over here. Again, if you have questions, please let me know, okay? It's very, very important for you to be able to understand what you're doing, and of course, for us to help you. The same thing over here, this part. In this case, we're talking about pronunciation. How do we abbreviate things? So that's a very important part for you. And this quiz and the activity, we're going to be doing it in our live class. So don't worry about that. It's very important. Well, we have here the listening that you can find in the platform. You can find this listening part, and just look for that. And of course, do this listening quiz, which is very, very important for us to practice. And then we have some writing that you can just, it says, here are some sentences about going shopping. For each question, complete the second sentence so that it means the same as the first, using no more than 3 words, okay? So let's work on that. And then we are gonna be ready to start lesson 29. So please, if you have questions, let me know. If you don't understand something, let us know. And again, we're more than glad to help you. So thank you very much. We will see you on Unit 29.